Hello, welcome to the first regular Your Academic English Professor, and today is the first part about adjectives. What we're going to be looking at are some of the common problems that students, candidates and anybody else has with adjectives in their English. I used the graphic before just to illustrate how a tired examiner feels when they are interviewing a lot of people in one day and everybody comes in and gives the same answer. It just sounds like blah, 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 blah. And there you can see different answers. People gave different things that they liked, and when they were asked why, they all said because it's exciting. Now imagine I have 20 people like that. Eventually, if they all say it's exciting, the students all become like one blob. They all roll in together, pour in together. So I can't differentiate between the students. It's the same person again and again and again. And that's what we want to avoid when we're doing the examination. Now, first of all, let me make it clear that there's nothing wrong with the word exciting. It's a perfectly valid word. My point is, don't only use the word exciting because it's a little bit general. It can be used for too many different things, as you saw in the graphic. And it's also the problem that it's what everybody else is saying when they go into the examination. And so often when people are asked to describe people, places, things, objects, foods in the examination, they will often tend to use the same adjectives again and again and again. What you can do before the exam is start to think about different adjectives that you can use to describe different types of places, different types of people, in order that when you go into the exam, you have two advantages. Number one, you will be able to more carefully and clearly transmit your feelings, emotions about someone or something to the examiner with your brilliant use of adjectives. And secondly, you will sound different to everybody else, because if everybody else is going in the exam and saying exciting, 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 and you go in and you give a slightly different answer, the examiner's going to remember you. They're going to remember you. You're the one they're going to remember. And if it gave everybody else maybe an average mark, you should therefore get a slightly better mark, just simply because you're being more careful and thinking more about the language that you're using. And as I say, it's not just for examinations, it's a great skill in general communication as well, whether with friends or in a business context. Doesn't matter. I love adjectives, and I hope you will as well. If you want to practice and give some ideas about other adjectives, you can do that in the comments section below. And I hope you start to enjoy the magic of adjectives. It's not just with exciting, there are lots of other adjectives that apply here, and they can describe many things apart from hobbies. They describe things like food, they describe people, they describe transport, many. And underneath you've got here are some examples of these. As I said before, these words are absolutely fine, but you're not only going to use these words, you're going to think of some others as well. So here we have places, and many people would describe all the places as beautiful or interesting, as you can see in the previous graphic. However, in a moment, let's have a look at some other words that we can use to describe different places, starting off with cities. The next topic is food, and of course the magic word here is delicious. Again, the problem is that all foods can be delicious, as you can see from the graphic below, where there are many different types of foods, and all of them, according to taste, could be delicious. So we're going to look at some other foods here and try and find some more original language to describe them. And the first one we're going to look at is ice cream. As you can see, the words here all describe ice cream, but don't describe a lot of the other foods that you saw in that description. So again, if you use some of these words like creamy or smooth, cool, refreshing, as well as delicious in the examination, you will create a very positive impression with your examiner. Likewise, for apples, there are many other adjectives that specifically describe a fruit such as this, which can't be used for all foods. Words such as crunchy or juicy, natural would describe an apple, but not an ice cream, for example. Finally, for this section, we have pizza, and again, there's many different words here. They also depend on the type of pizza, so words such as peppery, or meaty, or spicy could be used here, depending on the flavours that are on that pizza. Again, you'll see that many of these words are very, very different to those that we used before for ice cream and for apples. Something you'll notice in English is you often just put a Y at the end of a food type and it becomes an adjective. So milky, cheesy, meaty, chocolatey, we use that quite a lot, so it's a good one to remember. Okay, that concludes the subject of food, and to finish, give you some subjects that appear regularly in the examination but can also be used for general English, and for those I'd like you to think about some adjectives that can be used to describe these particular types of groups. For example, as you'll see, there are people, there are places, there are events, and so on. This will enhance your English for both examinations and general communication.